All right, guys, I have been kind of obsessed with this tunnel vortex pattern, and I want to show you guys how to do it. So I saw this online and everybody was asking, how's it done? How's it done? And nobody could figure it out. And so I had to download it and then trace the lines, and I got it. And then I made a video and I had to start all over because I found some more details that really matter. So what is happening is we're starting out with two lines that have a little hook at the end. So two lines, little hook. Now, to make this tunnel, we're going to cross over and then we're going to land flat on here. So we're going to feed from this line. So you can see that this line has a peel out, a peel out, a peel out. And this line has the same thing. So we're making the line from peelings. But when it comes to the other side, it's a flat, like a 90-degree hit. That's part of what makes this visual tunnel. If you don't, so what I was doing before was I was feeding it softly on both sides to where it made it look like it was coming, it was feeding out of this and then it was feeding into the line on the other side. And it ended up looking more like a mushy water flow as opposed to a nice solid tunnel. See how this looks like it's crossing over coming from this line, but then it just lands on that line. And that's what's gonna make your nice tunnel. So when you're making this pattern, you start with your two hooks and then you're creating an S pattern. You start right next to your hook and you copy it. And then when you go to the other side, you're gonna flare it out and it's gonna go a third of the way down the line. So you need a little extra room to add some lines in the middle of it. So we're creating an S. So it's a tiny hook, big hook. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Tiny hook and big hook. And this is gonna create a channel where we add a couple extra lines in the middle. So now we've got two little eye hooks, and now we've got this S pattern between the two of them, right? And then we add a couple lines in, and then every line after that is just a simple rainbow copying this hook and that hook. And that's all there is to it. So then I decided, let's go ahead and make it bigger with multiple lines, and they fed really nicely into each other. But what I was missing was how these two interact with each other is the tunnel. You need to have a little space between this hook and that hook to make the tunnel. And you need to be aware of where those hooks are. So this one was a little too wide out, and see, I didn't put a lot of room between them, so my tunnel was right here. It wasn't very long. This one was more ideal, where there's a little bit of space, and this one was more what we're aiming for, where there's a little bit longer and landing on the edge. And then the other thing, as I said, was that when you're drawing it, you're feeding from this line, so every time it looks like it's starting up in that hook and then coming down. So it's kind of a rhythmic curve on this line. But on this side, you don't curve into the line. On this side, it's got to be like it's hitting the line. That's what creates the magic. If you're feeding it in on both sides, then it gets kind of soft and smushy, and it ends up looking more like you're folding over dough, which is a really cool. So this one's feeding over, and then I'm feeding it back into that, and it just looks more kind of like you're layering liquid dough or slime or something like that. Cool too, just a different type of thing. So what I'm gonna do is a quick little tutorial drawing so you can see it done, and then I'm gonna do it large. So we're gonna start with a pencil drawing on this one, and I'm drawing an eye hook like I was talking about. So it's kind of like drawing a sewing needle, and then I'm going to go from another direction and draw another eye hook. So right here is going to be the tunnel. So now I'm going to follow that line, bring it across, flare it out, because now I'm making an S shape, right? With a small hook and a big hook. And then I do the same on this side. I follow that loop, I cross it over and flare it out a third of the way down. So now I've got room to add a couple marks in here in this S shape, and then the rest of it will be rainbows on the outside. So remember, I'm going to feed from this line, and I'm hugging that line to feed it in there. Then I'm going to do the same over here and hook it over. So now I'm going to keep going. So this is my line. I'm going to pretend that everything's coming from this line. So I've got a nice curve. Okay, I did it opposite, so I made the mistake again. This is my line, so I need to put all of my curved lines on the tunnel, and I need to put all my hard lines on the outside edge. So this is what creates the tunnel, is this hits hard, but it feeds soft from this side. So we're gonna feed soft from this line, and we're gonna hit hard on that line. Feed soft from the eye hook, hit hard on the straight line. Feed soft from the eye hook, hit hard on the straight line. That's what creates the tunnel. Soft curve on the eye hook, hard on the straight line. Soft curve on the eye hook side, hard hook on the straight line. And we're just going to do that over and over and over. So we're going to do the same thing. This is my eye hook side this time. We're going to feed soft from the eye hook and hit hard on the straight line. So that's the pattern. Then we can add a little bit of shading on the tunnel if you want to make it pop. Like a cylinder. And there you have it. So now I'm going to do it in a larger page, and I'm going to speed up so you can watch how it goes.